Good.
It is a blessing to be here with you guys today, to get to share a little bit about what God has been doing over the last year and what we see God leading us into in this upcoming year. One of the cornerstone beliefs here at PCC I want to share with first is we believe God has called us more than just sitting in this room on a Sunday morning, but to go out into our community, to engage our community with the love of Christ. So over this past year, it's been really exciting. We got to hire Charlene Williams, who is overseeing our local missions. She is also overseeing a new housing ministry called the Redeeming Hope Housing Ministry. How many of you guys have heard of the housing ministry as we've talked about it up here? Okay, quite a few of you. So what this is, it's going to provide housing for women in crisis, especially women that find themselves in crisis pregnancies. And so over this next year, we're asking the Lord, and we're asking you guys to open up your homes for some of these women to come and stay in people's homes in our church. It's going to be amazing ministry. We also, how many of you guys, I think we'll get more hands on this. How many of you guys have served on Serve Day here at church? Okay, awesome. So this year, we're taking it from Serve Day to Serve Week. So look forward to what we're going to be doing with that. It's going to be a whole week of engaging our community, being out and about and doing all the great projects we've been doing in the past. And then finally, we're going to start a conversation around a coffee ministry. And this is the last time I'll ask you to raise your hands. How many people know Pastor Dan loves coffee? Right? I think we all know that. So we don't quite know what it's going to look like, but we feel like God is calling us into the community in a new and different way. And we said, why not take something we love, coffee, and see where God takes that?
Yeah. Isn't it fun to take your passions and to live them out as a follower of Jesus? I think it is a heavenly drink, by the way. Another thing that we're thinking about is we just need to strengthen our existing ministries. Too often what churches do, they just do the new and better, the bigger. We just go to the next project. I don't think we need to add much here. We just need to go deeper together. And next year we're going to try and collaborate together as all our different ministries come together. We've had some great events, and we want to continue doing them. One of the things I want to bring back is the Wow to Weekends. The word out is that a lot of people are skipping church. Some of you have even done it some weekends. And we've just discovered we want to make an experience here that is so good that you just don't want to miss. From our children's ministry all the way up to what happens here in the sanctuary. To bring the wow back. We want to deal with the parking lot so we have room to park. We want to be able to make room in the seats by shifting different services. And we're really excited. We think God has given us a marvelous place where people can come and worship on a weekend. And we just want to highlight that and do that better.
You know, the next area I want to talk about, over the last couple years, we feel like God's called us to really raise the leadership culture in this church. We feel like God has called all of us to be leaders in our business, where we work, in our families, in our community here. And so some ways we've done that is a couple years ago, we started the Plymouth Covenant Leadership Academy. And so this last year, we just had our second group go through this. It's a pretty intensive course that just builds up leadership skills in those that attend it. We also, I don't know if you guys know this, but this summer we're going to have 4 to 5 interns. In the last year and a half, we've had interns serving alongside our pastoral staff. And what this allows is people who are looking to go into full-time ministry in the future to come alongside our wonderful staff, to learn from them, and we're sowing into the future kingdom building that they're going to be doing. And then finally, each one of our staff members has in their budget resources to use for leadership development of their volunteers. So we want to say to our church, if you step up and you serve with Craig, or you serve with Pav, or with men's ministry, or any of the ministries, that there are going to be ways that they're going to sow into you and into your leadership, so you can help be a leader here at church, but so you can take that out into your lives outside of here.
So let me ask, how's your Final Four bracket going? Gonzaga, all the way. Duke has given me several heart attacks. It's been an interesting experience this year. As I think about the Final Four coming to Minneapolis, it's amazing to think that all the world comes here on this weekend. And we in Minneapolis and the Twin Cities have rolled out that welcome mat, and we're excited to have people to come. It's interesting. Do you know that the world has already come? Over 1 million immigrants have come to Minneapolis. This place is thriving with the nations here. We have just a little microcosm of heaven that we can celebrate right here in Plymouth, Minnesota. Hiring Sanjeev to come and work with our multi-ethnic ministry has been very significant. New programs, new ministries. You'll notice we have a little bit more color. Along with Swedes and Norwegians and a few Germans, we have some other people. And it's just awesome. My goal, as I look forward, is for us to be representative of heaven itself. That we would be the first people across the room when somebody comes from another nation. that you would be open to the people in your cul-de-sac that might eat different food or wear different clothes or drive maybe a different car than you. And I think we as a church can do that. And we want to see our multi-ethnic ministry grow as we welcome the nations here to Plymouth.
Do you guys know how much this facility in this building is used? I think it's another belief that we have here at Plymouth Covenant that this building is not just for Sunday mornings. We want it to be so crazy busy every day of the week. We believe that this building is one of the greatest physical ministry tools God has given us. And so with that being said, we want to be good stewards of this building. You're going to see, starting in the next couple weeks here and going through summer, a whole revamp of the foyer and the TLC. So when you walk in, there might be a little bit of construction going on through summer. But again, it's just us saying we need to be a good steward as we invite people in here and as we use this building as much as we do to maintain it and keep it looking good. At the same time, we're going to take some funds from our budget this year and we're going to set them aside for future building projects. Again, we don't know exactly what this looks like, but we know that there are going to be needs as we progress over the next 3 to 5 years, and we want to be at a position to fund these not out of debt, but out of savings. We know our youth ministries are cramped for space. How awesome that Annie has so many middle schoolers that we're filling up the garage downstairs. And so, again, we don't know exactly what it looks like, but we want to be forward-thinking as God leads us into that.
We also want to ripple to the edges. We believe that we as a church should cannonball into the middle of life. We should be stirring up some things, sending ripples to the edges. Here's my question for you. Wake you up for a second. Does anybody know where this is? I doubt you've been there. And you've seen this. A lot of you have seen this, but have you been there? This little island off of Ireland, it's actually in the Star Wars movie. If you remember The Last Jedi, remember when Rey came and found a Mark hiding out, or Luke Skywalker? This is actually a monastery that was built in the 1400s. Monks went there to preserve the Bible. And it's interesting, the church at this time called this the edge of the world. Do you know that? This little island was the edge of the world. They didn't think there was any civilization after that. You know, I've watched a lot of churches. The edge of the world is the pew right next to them or the parking lot. And that's our ministry. We don't go beyond that. And we in Plymouth Covenant really believe the edge of the world is the edge of the world. And God has called us to be ministers, I believe, here at our church. And I have actually written this out from Acts chapter 1. Witnesses in our church, but across the street, yes, across every culture, but to the ends of the earth, to push the edges out. We have 10 different missionary partners that we're closely involved with, and God is using that in a profound way to impact the world. We have 7 local ministries here that we come alongside, and we're building a relationship, and there's a synergism that's happening, and together we're trying to reach people for Christ. We're trying to push the edges of the kingdom to the outermost extremes. And I'm just so excited about what we're doing here. We see it's much more than what happens in here. It's what happens out there. So why are we talking about this, Michael? We're going to be taking a budget, right? You're going to write everybody a letter soon. In that letter, he's going to outline a little bit of what it is. We have kind of a flat budget this year. We just really believe God has called us to stay still. We have some great ambitions, though, on the agenda that we really believe God could use us to do some huge impact for the kingdom. Michael's going to send them a letter this week explaining a little bit of that. We're going to have pledges received next week and the week after. Those are what we build our budget on. What you decide prayerfully to give to us determines what we do in the future. So we just encourage you to pray about that this week. Any last words?
You know, I think, first of all, I just want to say it's a blessing to get to serve here with you guys. And the thing to me that makes PCC so special in all of this thinking and planning and talking about all this stuff is that we are kingdom-minded in everything we do.
Yeah.
That God uses Plymouth Covenant in an amazing way in this community, but it's not about the name of Plymouth Covenant at the end of the day. It's about the name of Jesus, and it's about the kingdom. It's about working with churches in the area. It's about brothers and sisters across this whole community that love Jesus and come under that. And that really is what guides and directs everything we do here. It's so easy to get inward focused about us, but at the end of the day, it's about Jesus and what he's doing, and that's what we want to be about.
Thank you, Michael.